Hey, Duke, sorry for the delay. I've had a bunch of nervous investors who want reassurances. Have you checked the share price?
I've just been looking at them, unfortunately.
Pretty bleak. Share prices haven't rebounded since we got everyone sick on the chew with our relish.
Yes, even with the announcement that Pickle Lila and Pickle Eddie were both tampered with, it hasn't stopped the downward trend.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid we might not be able to turn this around if we can't figure out who's behind the sabotage.
I don't mind if I do.
Hello? Quartermains?
If you're here to drag Kiki away from here, you're too late. Her and her dumb boyfriend are settling it nicely.
Hey, I was called in. My mother just woke up. What's going on?
We found the weapon used by her shooter.
You're gonna turn yourself in? Are you out of your mind?
I'm not really seeing another option.
I do. Lots of them. Ones that don't include ruining both of our lives,
It's
Sean.
the honorable thing to do, okay? The only thing if I have any chance is salvaging my relationship.
You forget about Alexis? You can't do this. If you turn yourself in, it's a matter of time before Anna connects the whole thing to me.
Just the person I was looking for.
You have more questions?
No, I have questions for Carly.
The rifle was found at a landfill, a mile from the Metro Quarter.
No serial number.
No, filed off.
Yeah, untraceable. Didn't expect any less. The shooter's a pro. This casing matches the bullet found in a hotel room overlooking the terrace. This is it. We found our weapon.
Why do you want to question me?
Oh, this is probably a matter we should continue down at the station.
The station.
Don't worry. It's very routine.
Oh, okay. Well, anything you have to ask me, you can ask me here then.
I just feel like with a case this serious that any statement you give should be on record.
Should I call my lawyer?
Convinced that Tracy poisoned our relish, but then the results came back from the lab indicating that both had been tainted.
Which exonerates Tracy, because why would she poison her own product, after all?
And I'd like to know who did it, because it's been more than a month and we haven't heard anything.
Well, Gordon Elliott and the NYPD are both conducting an investigation. They'll come up with no leads.
It doesn't make any sense at all. None of our chief rivals are even in the condiment business. I mean, who would want to tank our company like this?
Well, have you considered Eva Giroux?
Yours.
Alice, the maid, you met her? She sorted through a whole bag of those and picked those out just for me special.
Such a stupid affectation.
That's my stupid affectation. They taste better that way.
Only in your mind, which, I grant you, is a very scary place.
Fine, more for me and Kiki.
You expect me to believe that you and my daughter are bonding over candy?
We have to bond over something. Our relationship is so problematic, what with you keeping her from me for her entire life.
She did just fine without you, Franco. We both did.
Kiki moved in here to live with me and my new family.
The Quartermaids have been your family for what? All of 5 minutes?
You know, I don't see what she sees in this guy Morgan. And I don't understand why he's called Morgan when the other one, Michael, is just so much more like Jason. But let me tell you something. If Morgan is part of the reason why Kiki is willing to live here under my roof, I'm all for it. Time with my daughter. What else could a man want?
How about a conscience?
I just got one of those. I'm breaking it in.
So you say.
So I say, why else would I voluntarily come back to Port Charles? I'm out on bail, but I still have to stand trial.
Sounds like another art piece to me. Designed to confuse and mislead. Nothing you ever do is straightforward.
Appearances can be so misleading. I feel it's my responsibility as an artist to point that out. If one person gets it, then one person is closer to the truth.
I don't need any help figuring you out, thanks. And for the record, I've spent a lot of time with Morgan. The truth is, he's a very nice young man.
Trying to get closer to our daughter by sucking up to her boyfriend. How's that working for you?
I do have some repair work to do on my relationship with Kiki.
So that full court press to get her to sign over all of her shares of VLQ, that didn't work so great?
Kiki will come around. I'm just gonna give her some space and some time.
Convenient, considering that she's not speaking to you.
I have business with AJ. He wasn't at the office. Is he here?
No, you just missed him, the big long kid, by not less than 5 minutes.
If only I'd thought to ask, instead of wasting all this time in conversation with you.
What from Junior? And by the way, that's not what I call him, that's what the Qs call him. I think it's appropriate because it conjures up to mind images of somebody being spoiled and not very bright. That, again, appropriate.
Does your brother know how highly you speak of him?
Please, this is mild by Quartermain standards. They are vicious in the verbal combat. I think it's part of the reason I fit in so nicely.
Finally, after a lifetime as an outsider, you have a place to belong.
Amen. So, what do you want from AJ? You're going to convince him that you can offer up Kiki's allegiance?
No. I'm offering AJ something much better. Your head on a silver platter.
That's the deal, Nicholas. If we're still gonna be friends, then you have to respect my decisions and not interfere. Can you do that?
All right, Nicholas. If your intentions are every bit as noble as you say, why don't you give me back the recording?
Wouldn't that be convenient for you?
Well, I mean, you said it yourself that if Elizabeth found out that I slept with Carly, it would hurt her.
You're always looking for the easy way out, aren't you, AJ? You have no problem crossing the line, but you never want to pay the consequences. Too bad. That recording's my little insurance policy. Make one wrong move with Elizabeth, and I'll make sure she hears about your pathetic little fling with Carly. I always respect you, Elizabeth. I gave you my word I will not interfere in your life.
Then it's settled. I'll stay.
You know Eva Jerome?
Well, she was here earlier looking for you. Do you mind if I ask you, how do you know Miss Jerome?
She's Kiki's mother.
Who's Kiki?
Franco's daughter. You see, calling her Lauren was just wishful thinking. Her real name is Lauren Catherine Jerome. Kiki for short.
That's why I've had such a hard time locating her.
Tell me more about your meeting with Eva. Why are you convinced that she wants to go after ELQ?
It's not so much what she said. It's more about who she is.
My head on a silver platter. Do you have any idea how beautiful that is? Do you know the origins of that statement? The etymology,
stop
the
trying to
story
change the
behind the
subject,
story? No,
Franco.
that is the subject. Salome wanted John the Baptist's head on a silver platter. It was covered by all the masters of the Renaissance, and I think it's ripe for interpretation. I can't wait to get my hands on the reflective
Not
properties.
if your brother kills you first.
No, I don't think he wants to do that.
Wait till he gets to know you better.
No, I think he wants to do that. AJ can't wait. He wants me to fold into the family as much as I want to be folded in. Won't be long before he thinks of me as family.
Even after he finds out you poisoned his relish.
We need to confirm the bullets and the strike marks match the ones forensics reconstructed from the pieces extracted from my mother.
You okay, Falconer?
Yeah, I'm fine. Have ballistics put a rush on that. The sooner we can match that weapon to the crime, the closer we get to putting the shooter behind bars.
You're a lawyer.
Yeah, Diane Miller. I'm sure she'd be interested in whatever you want to talk to me about.
Yeah, by all means, just give her a call, but I don't see why you'd need her input.
Even as you're dragging me off to the station.
I'm not pulling out the handcuffs. You know, this is really just follow-up questions to you because you're the owner of the Metro Court. It's things like, you know, staff schedule and who was on security the night of the shooting. You've been so cooperative so far. There's no reason to bring a lawyer into all this, is there?
Guess not.
Right. Shall we? I'll give you a ride. Mr. Butler.
Commissioner.
You were very open about your criminal past when you came here. I just wasn't aware that the family you were involved with was named Jerome.
I had every reason to believe that the Jeromes were no more.
Let me ask you something. During your time with them, do you remember ever meeting a family member named Eva?
Oh, I only knew Victor's two children, Olivia and Julian. But there's no reason why Eva could not be related.
Just as likely they're not related, though. I mean, Jerome is a fairly common last name.
That's funny. That's exactly what she said when I brought it up. But I did get this very odd feeling from her.
What kind of feeling?
There was just something about her demeanor. Like as if she was hiding something. She was playing cat and mouse with me. And I got the feeling she was enjoying every minute of the chase.
You're the one who tainted AJ and Tracy's relishes on the chew.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't play dumb. You're a lot of things, Franco.
You're a lot of
Ignorant
things.
isn't one of them.
You're hard when you're condescending.
Pickle Lila Relish was supposed to make ELQ rise from the ashes. Sadly, we all know what happened. Both AJ and Tracy's relishes were tampered with. The incident on the Chew went viral. ELQ's stock prices still haven't recovered.
Really? I didn't know that. I was busy doing other things, like coming back from the dead.
Well, let me fill you in. They never found the person who tampered with the relishes. The person responsible for tanking ELQ. Well, someone obviously wanted to create chaos for that company. Chaos. Major theme in your work, no?
No, I think my work's more about the evil that men do. That's why I've never really been interested in corporations. It's too obvious. There's nothing personal there. There's nothing intimate there.
Poisoning for individuals is personal. Intimate. But doing it on national television, thereby undermining ELQ, well, that raises it to the level of an event.
You're right. You say it like that, I wish I'd thought of it.
As performance art / corporate sabotage, it's brilliant. But for a man trying to prove his redemption, you just made a serious error.
Did I? So I'm responsible for all the mayhem in the world. Tell me something. How are you going to prove your little theory?
Not a theory. You did it. I know you did. And I have proof.
Take a seat, Carly. I'll be in shortly.
She agreed to come in here?
Yeah, I told her it's routine follow-up questions. So, is it true? Your mom regained consciousness?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah, the doctors are optimistic.
That's wonderful. Will you tell me about this rifle that was recovered?
Sniper rifle found in landfill.
Yeah.
It's got to be the gun used to shoot my mother. You know, the more I think about it, the more I'm convinced that Carly and Sonny are behind this whole thing. My mother, she just got in between them and their vendetta against Franco.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll find out more when I question
Good.
her.
I want to go in there with you.
Yeah, I can understand why you would want that, but we've got to be careful with her, or she's going to lawyer up.
Yeah, I know the stakes.
If you lose your temper, we won't get anything out of Carly. Her lawyer is Diane Miller. She won't take kindly to you bouncing off the walls.
I need to be a part of this.
I will allow it, but we have to be smart about this. It's the only way we're going to get Carly to crack.
First came to the house to see Tracy. Nothing jumped out as a red flag. Now, I can speak with the investigators, have them vet her further if you think that she's that suspicious.
No, I'm sure it's nothing. I mean, you know what it's like when you first meet somebody and you form an instant first impression.
Yeah, well, sometimes first impressions can turn out to be a little trouble.
Are you thinking of something in particular?
Total coincidence. Michael's brother Morgan was already dating Kiki. The two of them have been staying with Michael ever since they hit town.
So Michael was sharing a flat with this girl, and he didn't realize it was his cousin?
Well, I definitely don't think that if Michael knew that his cousin was Kiki Jerome, he would have kissed her.
You have proof. Do tell. No, seriously, do tell. I'm in the mood for a story.
Very well. Once upon a time,
Oh, good.
Luke Spencer came to my place in New York. He told me about the existence of Kiki shares at ELQ. The very next day, I had to go on a business trip. On the way to the airport, what do you think I saw on that little TV in the back of the cab?
idea. Was it the video of that little kitty cat meowing in the bathtub? Because that is so cute.
An announcement that the Quartermains were going to be in New York, promoting their new relishes on the Chew. I took a detour to see Kiki's newfound relatives for myself. Unfortunately, by the time I got to the studio, almost everyone had left for the hospital due to an unforeseen illness.
Shame. It looks like you delayed your business trip for nothing.
On the contrary. One of the few people left at the studio was a lovely young producer by the name of Todd Guerin. He told me that he had seen an unauthorized person in the green room. A man who ran off before Todd could get his name.
And you think that unauthorized man is me?
Oh, honey. I know it was.
So when the security footage from the Metro Court was reviewed, it was discovered that some of the surveillance cameras had been disabled. Specifically the one on the side street, the Grand Street entrance. Now, who has access to those controls?
The head of my security team and the people who work directly under him.
And what about hotel management, do they?
Yes, they do.
Okay. And hotel owners?
Yes, of course.
Oh.
You don't think Connie had anything to do with this, do you?
No, we don't think Connie had anything to do with this. But we do think you played a big part in this, Carly.
The commissioner took Carly in for questioning. Says it's routine, but it probably didn't help. She saw Carly with me at the park.
Damn it, Carly never thinks. What's gonna happen to my boys? It's gonna destroy Michael and Morgan.
Not to mention Jocelyn. You know, she's just a little kid.
My boys' lives will be torn apart.
Didn't have to.
How do we stop it?
I'm going down to the station. Tell Anna I acted alone. I'm turning myself in.
Michael kissed his brother's girlfriend, who then turned out to be his cousin.
Yeah. Talk about an unexpected complication. I told Michael to stay away from Kiki.
That's probably a good course of action.
Except it throws a monkey wrench in our plans with ELQ.
How so?
She and Michael are about the same age. I was hoping that he could persuade her to vote with me and, in turn, persuade Franco.
Well, don't worry. I'm sure we'll come up with a better course of action.
I sure hope so. Because as much as it would work for me to have Michael get close to this girl, I think it could be a recipe for disaster.
First, the Chew issues a statement that the relishes had been tampered with, and a few days later, you turn up alive.
Oh, I didn't just turn up. I had a party, and it was fun. No less than 3 people tried to murder me. That's inaccurate. Technically, 2 people tried to murder me. Morgan's father, Sonny. He pointed a gun at me. An aforementioned lughead brother, he tried to strangle me. The third, technically, was not attempted murder. I mean, she just hit me in the head with a handgun, which was still hurtful.
I wish I'd been there.
No, you and I, we deserved a more private reunion.
Oh. And so I came to see you in your jail cell. And that's when I learned that you had your own financial interests in ELQ. A few days later, I went back to the city. I showed your photo to Todd Guerin, and he ID'd you as the man he saw in the green room.
Come on. Relishgate has been completely investigated. If some television producer claims to recognize me, why haven't I been questioned by the police, or worse, on Tracy?
Simple. I paid Todd Guerin to keep his mouth shut.
You paid for something. You've never even picked up a dinner check.
Sometimes you gotta spend money to make money, and I knew what I had to gain by silencing that producer was worth a lot more.
Really? What did you have to gain?
You're not that mysterious, Franco. That televised exercise in food poisoning wasn't some performance art piece. It was all about driving the stock price of ELQ down, thereby leaving the company open to a takeover by the likes of you.
Listen to me. You shouldn't have to sacrifice yourself. All you gotta do is lie low.
No, I'm not sure I can live with
Carly lied to you. She told you that I ordered the hit. You shouldn't have to take the fall for something that was not your fault.
The bottom line is I pulled the trigger and I shot the wrong person. Okay, the last time that happened, I felt like I never paid the price for killing TJ's father, and I almost lost my mind. I can't go through that again.
I understand, but going to the cops, you think that's the right thing to do?
Look, the cops always suspect me, okay? It's only a matter of time before they get enough evidence.
You shouldn't make assumptions. All you gotta do is play this out.
If I don't turn myself in, and this investigation continues, you and Carly can be connected to the shooting as well. And I'm not willing to let that happen.
You're in this situation because you work for me.
No, I'm in this situation because I shot an innocent woman. You know, I keep playing it in my head. You know, I know Olivia ran into my shot, but I had Franco in my sights, man. And part of me still can't believe that I missed so badly. But I did, okay? And it's time for me to take responsibility for that.
Your head of security says he's never shut off any cameras before. Connie has an alibi. That leaves you. Did you really think we were going to figure this out? How are you going to look at my mother in the eye now that she's awake?
Olivia's awake.
Wow, that's some relief for you. How do you like that? Are you pretty happy you don't have blood on your hands right now, Carly?
We've got to be smart about this.
You know what? You know what? This doesn't work with her. The good cop routine, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So just so you know, we found the gun that was used to shoot my mother. Ballistics has it right now. They're going to take a look at it. How long before you think we can trace that back to one of Sonny's guys?
It wasn't Sonny.
Well, who was it?
You don't want just part of ELQ. You want the whole damn thing for yourself.
Even if that were true, what are you going to do about it?
Well, I was looking for AJ because I was just about to offer him the name of his relish saboteur for a healthy sum of cash. But I stand to gain so much more, and you would get to keep your freedom if we unite.
When did this become about my freedom?
Well, with all the charges you're facing, do you really want to add assault? Or whatever the legal term is for deliberately poisoning 4 people to the list? Doesn't it make more sense to unite behind our common interests?
And which of our common interests are you willing to admit?
If you want me to keep my mouth shut, you're gonna have to cut me in.
You know what? We're gonna have to finish strategizing about Kiki and Franco later because I have dinner with Elizabeth.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. How are things progressing on that front?
You know, it's actually the only area of my life that isn't a mess. I'll be honest with you, Duke, there was a little hiccup that threatened to ruin everything, but I've worked that out. Now, nothing can stand in the way of our happiness.
Carly, you just said Sonny isn't responsible for my mother's shooting. Can you tell us who is?
I think I'd like to call my lawyer now.
Of course. Yeah. Detective?
Commissioner.
Is it true? Is Olivia okay?
Yeah, well, that's what Sonny said. What's going on here?
I decided to call a lawyer.
Look, that won't be necessary. Look, there's something I have to tell you.
What did you have to tell me, Sean?
Dante, I need you to see something.
You do not have to kill us.
Look, someone's gonna take the fall.
Doesn't have to be you.
Look, it's the only way, Carly. I have to tell the truth, at least my part. I shot Olivia.
Is this what I think it is?
The strike marks from the rifle we found don't match the bullet fragments that were recovered from your mother. Yeah.
Which means the bullet that hit my mother didn't come from that gun.